A character with a perfect design can still feel dead on the page, but a character with a simple design can feel electric. The difference isn't anatomy, it isn't the rendering, it isn't even the costume. Usually, it's the pose. Today, we're talking about the single most underrated skill in comic art and comic book illustration, and that's posing. I'm going to make the case that in a comic, the characters are the actors, and the pose, well, posing is the acting. If you get the pose right, the drawing almost runs itself. If you get it wrong, no amount of rendering is going to save it. So let's break down what makes a good pose, and how does that pose tell us more about our character? Hello again, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. On this channel, we talk about the art and business of creating independent comics and storytelling and character design. So if that's something you're into, then please subscribe, hit the like button, and let's get on with the video. As always, I'm Brad, and I'm an animator and storyboard artist, and I'm working on my own independent comic book where I'm going to show you everything that I'm learning in the process of creating this comic. And today, well, we're talking about how posing affects our stories. So let's begin by flipping through your favorite comic book. What actually stops you on a page? It's rarely a face. It's almost always a silhouette. It's a shape that says something is happening here. And before you read a single word, that shape is built by the pose. And the pose is doing a job that dialogue, narration, or panel layout cannot do. It's doing the job of acting. So we're going to break down exactly how that works, why a good pose can carry an entire character, and how to think about posing the way that the best comic artists in the world think about it. So let's start with the most basic principle, and the one that a lot of newer artists tend to skip, and that's the silhouette. Squint at your characters, black it out, shrink it to a thumbnail. Can you still tell what they're doing? Can you tell who they are? If the answer is no, then the pose isn't doing its job. A great comic artist knows that the silhouette is the first read. It's the first thing the eye locks onto before the brain even processes the features, costume, or the line weight. If your pose doesn't read in a silhouette, the entire panel is fighting uphill. It's just not coming together. Now, here's two silhouettes that are instantly recognizable. We know exactly who they are without seeing any of the detail or costumes or color. Do your characters read this clearly in a single pose, in a silhouette? Try to block your characters in a solid black shape before you draw a single detail. If that shape doesn't read as a specific role or pose, is he a hero, a villain, a victim, or a trickster? Then go back to the pose and fix it. The details come later. The shape always comes first. Part 2. The pose reveals personality. That's right, I said it. Here's where things get interesting. The pose doesn't just communicate action. It communicates who the character is. Now, let's examine these three poses. There are three rough sketches that I've done of the same character. But what does each pose convey? In version A, we get a character that looks confident, strong, maybe a leader. Her arms are crossed, her chest is out. She seems like she's in control. In version B, the pose reads as uncertain, fearful, vulnerable maybe. In version C, we get a pose that reads as defeated, ashamed, or exhausted. The same character, the same design style, but three completely different people. And the poses did that. And this is the part I really want you to hear. The characters are the actors, but the posing, that's the acting. An actor on a film set isn't just standing in front of a camera. They're using their body to project an internal state or a conflict. Shoulders back versus shoulders forward. Head high versus head down. Weight on your front foot versus the back foot. These are the physical vocabulary of who a person is in a certain moment. And when you're drawing a comic, you don't have an actor. You have your pencil or your stylist. You're creating the actor, and you're also creating the acting through the posing. Section 3. Heroic versus villainous poses. There's a reason we can spot a hero from across a comic shop on the shelf, and there's a reason we can spot a villain from 3 panels away. It's not the costume. There are heroes in dark colors and villains in bright ones. It comes down to the pose. Heroes tend to take up space. Wide stance, open chest, arms spread. They lean into the frame towards the reader. Their weight tends to be on one foot, like they're advancing, and they have clean, readable lines of action. Villains tend to be in lurking poses in the shadows or at strange angles. Their heads tilted, body turned slightly off axis. They tend to use the negative space around them, and there's always room around a villain. They could be leaning back away from the viewer, like they're watching you, and they have weight on their back foot, or they're seated, while others around them stand. Now, let's check out some heroes and villains side by side. We have the Joker and a 2-shot of Batman and Superman by Jim Lee. What do we notice immediately about the heroes, Batman and Superman? They're leaning forward, almost leaping out of the page towards the reader. And what is the Joker doing? Essentially the opposite. He's leaning away from the viewer, and his weight is on his back foot. It's like he's backing up or stepping away from us. Now, let's just examine how Jim Lee draws the heroes in their poses. They take up the whole panel. They burst the frame. His line of action is screaming forward, and the body is in motion, even when it isn't. Now, let's look at the Joker. His body language is closed. It's contained. He's never bursting out of the frame. Now, all these ideas are considered character design cues to give us an idea of the characters, and they tend to be universal, but they are by no means set in stone. If you have a specific hero and villain, then you can certainly break these rules if you need to. One final note to remember: if your characters are your actors, then don't forget to make them act. And I'm not talking about expressions alone. Convey emotions, anger, happiness, fear, through the poses as well. That's what makes great acting from your characters. Remember, as the artist, it's your job to convey those emotions through the poses, not just the expressions. They need to act and fully envelop those emotions. As for my characters and my comic, I'm keeping everything as traditional as possible. I'm going for a retro vibe, and I need that to be reflected through the characters and the posing. I've been working on this comic quite a lot lately, and if you're interested in checking out the pages, head over to my Patreon and become a free member, and you can check them all out there. And if you're working on your own comic and you need a little help with your posing, then you can download my free posing pack by clicking the link below. Again, that'll be free for a limited time, so click that link, check it out, head over to my Patreon, become a member today, and get exclusive access to artwork and tutorials. It's a great way to support me and support the channel, and I'll see you over there. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you're not already, please subscribe and come back for more. All the best, and I'll see you in the next one.